Brody Wells overcame a torn quad at the end of 2023 just in time to make an 89.5 point ride on Muddy Creek Pro Rodeo's Bugsy to win the Rapid City Xtreme Bronc match back in January. The 23-year-old saddle bronc rider from Powell, Wyoming carried that momentum through the 2024 regular season and is headed to his first National Finals Rodeo, sitting 12th in the world standings with just shy of $136,000. Brody, thanks for making time for us. I'm excited to have you on.
Yep, thanks for having me on here, Sammy.
After finishing 35th in the PRCA a year ago, you came back with a vengeance in 2024. Tell us about your injury, what happened, how long you were out, and what it took not only physically but mentally to get you back to, essentially fighting shape in the time that you did.
We had a good winter and rolling into the summer, good spring and everything. So then I was in Casper. I was right after Calgary. We ripped it down, got done with our set in Calgary. We drove all night to Casper. I got on this horse and it just ran me into the concrete wall and got my leg in between my saddle and, tore up my quad and all that. So tearing the quad, yeah, that sucked and it wasn't very fun. But then there ended up somehow an infection got in there and got my blood and stuff, my leg. So that was the main deal. But anyways, we got all that sorted out. And like any recovering from anything, really, you just had to eat right, build your strength back up, get in the gym, build my leg back up. My one leg was smaller than the other, from crutching around on one all summer. So had to just get my legs stronger again and got horseback and got my balance back and just got fit and then just started getting on broncs. And, shout out to Wade Sankey, he let me come get on some really nice horses all last fall and got me tuned back up and then got me to roll into the winter feeling strong. And it was a good year and rode through it all and happy to be able to go to Vegas this winter.
Well, your hard work paid off considering after bucking off Sankey's Pro Rodeo's black tie in June of 2023, the second time proved to be the charm for you at the Days of 47 in Salt Lake City this summer, as your 92-point ride was the highest scoring ride by anyone in 2024 on a horse that's known as one of the best in the PRCA and was just the boost you needed to finish the summer run in contention for your first NFR qualification. Were there any other rides that you felt were kind of defining moments or turning points for you in the 2024 regular season? Talk me through some of the highs and lows.
Oh, there's been a bunch. I mean, going back to like Rapid City at the Xtreme Bronx, that was a big one. Like I hadn't been winning anything, got hurt kind of, and then it took the rest of the year off and it rolled into the fall. And so, coming back out in the winter, it was good to get that win right there and, kind of proved myself, getting on, Bugsy had a good trip, he really bucked, come around there. And so that was one there. And then of course, Black Tie. I mean, I love that horse and that's my favorite horse, and he just had such an exceptional trip getting off the ground, 3-4 feet every jump and just cracking them. So that one, I don't know. I've been on so many horses this last year. They kind of all, roll together. I either remember the great ones or the really bad ones. So there's a lot of good horses that I forget about in between there.
You mentioned the bad ones. What's one horse in particular this year that you'd like another shot at?
I know one I don't want another shot. I'm not even going to say it because I'll draw him at finals. I'm not even saying it. Oh, I'd like to get on Tokyo Bubbles again. That's one I really want to get on again. I kind of screwed it up with the short round to Houston this year. And that horse has just been so outstanding this year. And I'd really like to meet up with that one in Vegas.
In addition to Rapid City, you won the Xtreme Bronc matches in Face, South Dakota and Havre, Montana. Is there something about those standalone events that fit your style and that a reason why you've had so much success at those this year?
Yeah, I've always kind of liked the Xtreme Broncs. They've always worked good for me, and I think it can go when you draw good, it's great. When you draw bad, it's terrible. But I kind of always seem to draw pretty good at them, and I kind of draw some buckers, and I kind of like that more than going down to your rodeos down south, and of course a lot of these northern contractors they go rodeo, Calgary, J and stuff. They go rodeo down to Texas run and stuff, which helps out a lot. But I don't know, just getting on big, strong broncs that buck is what I like to get on and kind of fits my style and stuff and just kind of the format of it. And I don't know, I'm in the North Country. I love it. So they're pretty good to me.
You mentioned the North Country. For several years now, a lot of the top rough stock riders have come from up north. What do you think it is about the Cowboys from up here that make them so talented and stand out at that professional level year in and year out? I mean, this has been for the last 20 years. A lot of the top ones have come from this country. What's your 2 cents on that?
Yeah, just from, you hit the Wyoming line all the way up to northern Alberta and just the Broncs are bigger. I think the genetics are better. And I mean, there's good genetics everywhere nowadays, but yeah, the Bronx buck harder and growing up as a kid, you're going to schools or buck outs and getting on people's colts and they're going to buck harder. They're going to, be stronger. You're used to getting on those big, scary looking feather footed Broncs. And then when you buy your card and start, get your permit and your card, start going to pro rodeos. It's just nothing new. And so, I mean, that's why I think from, you got all these Canadians and, the Montana guys and Wyoming guys and, your Dakota guys, we're all used to getting on big, strong broncs from the time we're 16, 17 years old.
Since the regular season ended on September 30th, how have you been feeling physically and how are you preparing to get on 10 horses in 10 nights at your first National Finals Rodeo?
I really spent about a month hunting. Just pretty much forgot about everything and just went on a couple pack trips and hunted some elk and mule deer and stuff and took some friends and family hunting. And so that was good, just kind of decompress from everything. So anyways, did that. But no, just been staying in shape, riding horses, and went and got on a practice horse the other day. Rory Lemmel's there and just kind of knocked the rust off. But I'll go to Laramie this week. And then the week after that, I'll go to Sheridan. Then I'll go to Miles City, and then I'll go down to Clarendon. So kind of just getting on some really nice practice horses and stuff, and then just get tuned up and then just roll right into Vegas.
Sounds like there's one you don't want to draw, but if you could handpick any horse to get on in Vegas at your first finals, what horse would you choose and why?
Oh, I'd probably, if I get on one, it'd probably be Black Tie again, and just hope it had, just have that trip where it do what Black Tie does, just circle around there and jump right off. I mean, jump super high in the air. And I mean, it just gives you all the chances to show off and do what you know how to do.
Qualifying for the NFR doesn't happen overnight. Talk to me about how you got to this point. How did you get into rodeo and saddle bronc riding? And who have been some of your mentors or influential in getting you to this point in your career?
Starting out, my dad rode bulls and bareback horses and stuff. And so I always knew about rodeo, but I really didn't get serious into bronc riding until I was like 16, started getting on. And then when I was 17, 18, I really started, getting into it and just got stronger and stuff to where I could get on a lot more horses and maturity level 2 and stuff like that. But no, I was just riding. I think it was the summer I was 16 years old. I was riding colts for a guy, and I'd pretty much never hit the ground. And I was kind of, I always rode my own colts, and I was pretty sticky. I just never hit the ground for whatever reason. Hardly. I dang sure got bucked off pretty hard a few times, but yeah, so I was pretty sticky and it's stuff. So I ended up just getting a Bronc saddle. I went to this school in Meeteetse, Wyoming. Some friends of ours told me to go down there, and I got on and just started figuring it out. And it came pretty easy to me at first. And then, I mean, staying on them is not too hard. And then I rolled around into like where you're actually picking up your time, making your spur outs and moving your feet and stuff like that. And then that's a whole different deal. But no, I just did that and didn't high school rodeo or anything. Just got on, went to colt buckings, amateur circuits around here and the NRAs in in Montana and stuff like that. But just kind of got on and just was pretty just kind of cowboy about it. Just didn't think much about it. And then I was getting on at the night rodeo in Cody, and Brett Franks was there, and Maury Tate has Brett Franks come up in the summer and help, coach kids and whatever. I was there, and Brett told me to come out to buck machine. I got on the buck machine there, and he's like, "You want to come down to school in Texas?" He's like, "I'll make you a bronc rider." So I just packed up next fall, packed up all my stuff, moved to Texas, and went to school for Brett for 2 years. And so that was, I mean, that's probably the turning point, just getting down there in Clarendon at the time. Like my buddy Cash Wilson that I still travel with, he was going to school there. We had a bunch of good guys going. Cole Franks, a bunch of really good guys down there. We had a good time and pushed each other. And so the rest is history after that, I guess.
Getting somewhat of a later start in your bronc riding career, how do you approach the mental side of competing and keeping a good mindset day in and day out while you're on the road, but also while you're recovering through injuries?
You just got to look yourself in the mirror and just kind of talk yourself through it sometimes. But yeah, it's just having fun with your buddies, really. And just, realizing that very few people ever get to even have a taste of what it's like, and to get out on the road and go see all the states and all the places and get on all these horses and all the cool people you meet, and just people you meet at a rodeo, and they say, "Come stay at our ranch," whatever. And you just go out there and stay for a couple of days and just see some new country and go do some cool stuff. I mean, just all the things like that. But you just got to be appreciative when you're driving all night and whatever, you can get down and start feeling poor me and stuff, but you just got to pull yourself through it and realize how lucky you are.
Well, it sounds like you keep a pretty logical approach to it and are, aware of the opportunities that you guys are getting to live out every day. Do you pay attention much to the world standings throughout the year? Are you more of a one ride at a time kind of guy? How do you approach that?
Oh, both, I guess. I mean, I started looking at it, and I shouldn't have, but I was looking at it a little bit coming into September and stuff like that. But no, most of the time I don't really look, don't really care.
Well, I wouldn't change what you've been doing because it's working for you. And with almost 31,000 up for grabs each night and more than 78,000 for the average, a lot can happen in Vegas. Brody, thanks again for joining us. We're looking forward to watching you at your first of hopefully many NFRs, and wish you the best of Thomas and Mack.
Thank you.